Live maintenance on 2 days? What does this mean? Ladies, gentlemen, and Haradrim of all ages, just when we think Diablo 4 has calmed down a little bit, it has not. More things are happening now, and they are coming at rapid pace. After over a week with no hotfixes, we had 2 back-to-back, and now it's looking like we have some much more major changes coming up extremely soon at this point. So let's talk about what the devs have been saying over the last couple of days, an update on the status of the servers right now, and of course, overall, we're going to be having a really strong estimate at when that giant patch that we've all known is in the works is actually going to come. First up, let's talk about the state of the servers yesterday. Yeah, it was pretty bad. People were getting disconnects, and most people were unable to even log in for the vast majority of the day, and this was due to a DDoS attack against the Blizzard servers. It was pretty nasty, but it is not something that we can really blame the devs for, and thanks to a quick response time from them, it was back up and running in just a few hours. So the main update here is, hey, the servers are working now, the attack seems to be over, you're good to actually play the game. If you took a break because it was having issues, you're good to go back into the game now, no problem. I actually find this situation a little bit interesting. It's really unfortunate that DDoS attacks on big games is just becoming more and more common. It's a really expected thing at this point, but usually they actually happen within the first few days of release of a game to cause as much disruption as possible. So I just find it quite odd that this attack did happen, and that it was more than 3 weeks after launch. My only guess as to why is that a number of the attackers actually play Diablo, they like Diablo, and so they wanted to get some good game time in before they went through with it. I can picture them sitting there arguing about whether or not they should do it at this point. But my hardcore Necromancer is level 99. Can we just wait a few more days? No, Tim, it's been 3 weeks already. It must be now. It makes me chuckle a little bit. But yeah, the servers are all fine and dandy once again. You can play, no problems. Speaking about the servers though, let's dive into our first bit of proper news then. Diablo 4 will be undergoing live maintenance for 2 separate 5-hour periods. 5 hours today and 5 hours tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific time. Not only is that a lot of maintenance, that's 10 hours, but it's also a bit strange to happen on 2 separate days, right? Being split into 2 groupings. Well, as the devs have talked about before, including in the Campfire Chat stream, Diablo 4 is built in a way where it can have changes applied to the game without completely denying the servers to the players, so that you can keep playing while it happens. They can change it 1 instance at a time as they gradually move players around from one server to another when they change activities. They have warned in the text boxes that this could cause disconnects, so if you are a hardcore player, I'd be a bit careful about what you're doing during this time. Obviously, we don't know until it happens how bad the disconnects could be. It could just be a general warning of something that could happen like 1 in a million players, but this is the first time that we have gotten advanced warning of changes like this coming to the game, and that could actually mean quite a bit. So let's talk about what that actually could be. The way that I see it, there are 2 really firm possibilities. The first one is that this is actually related to the DDoS attack that just happened. Potentially either some of their servers are having issues or they're looking to strengthen them in some way, and so they want to do a rolling reset to take care of one of those things. And that is entirely a possibility, but the second and far more exciting option though is, well, a patch. The patch.
It's time.
Yes, it's time.
Of course, with this maintenance being spread over 2 days in 2 separate periods, it is hard to say with any certainty that it is related to the big 13-page whopping patch that we've been waiting on, but the maintenance could always be in 2 stages for a reason. Monday to take care of the DDoS stuff, like I mentioned first, and then that would just leave Tuesday to actually release the patch, right? That can make sense, but this is all just speculation, really, except for the fact that finally, through all the contradictory statements we've gotten about how the patch was soon or the patch was far away, we finally have what seems like undeniable, explicit confirmation that the patch is not just soon, not even just very soon, but very soon. We had a tweet from a player saying that the DDoS related outages were totally understandable, it happens, and that they were looking forward to doing some nightmare dungeons when the servers were back up. Then they just sort of slyly added in, hey, any chance you maybe want to give us a hint as to the timing of this patch? Adam Fletcher, community manager for the game, replied, very soon. Again, that is 2 varies. It's not just like, maybe a couple of weeks, who knows? It's soon. Very soon. Very soon. Blizzard's classic day of the week to do game patching stuff is Tuesday, and Diablo seems to be following in line with that. Though they've had so many hotfixes at so many random points so far, it's hard to say with certainty, but Tuesday is generally the believed reset day for Diablo 4, and thus would be the appropriate day to apply a proper big patch. We have extended maintenance on Tuesday. Whether related to the patch or not, we can't be sure, but with this tweet stating that the patch is very soon, soon, it seems pretty much all but confirmed that tomorrow Diablo 4 will be in a very different place to where it is right now, and hopefully all that for the better. With that then, let's just round up what this patch will actually be about, at least as far as we know. We know for a fact that the patch that they've been talking about is full of balance changes, theoretically even a number of buffs for the weaker playstyles for the classes. In relation to all the nerfs and the hotfixes, one of the devs specifically talked about this patch, saying it's time for the buffs, with the main thing that was pointed out in particular being minions for Necromancer, because we all are very aware that they're quite weak, and it's something that players do like to interact with. We know that they are likely to buff the XP gain from Nightmare Dungeons in some way. There are a number of Nightmare Dungeon changes that are in the works in general, and we were told that they would be splitting some of these up, their ideas, into multiple different updates so that we can have some of them sooner rather than waiting for just all of them to be done. And so the experience increase seems a likely first change, given it's just numerical differences. We know that there will be loads of stability and performance changes, hopefully all improvements. We should get things like a change to the way that Necromancer's Shadow Corpse Explosion looks, so that it doesn't just blot out a portion of your screen and make it just entirely impossible to see. But also this will hopefully apply to things like that massive VRAM memory leak that PC players have been dealing with. It makes the game run poorer than it should for them, and it really affects some people who already have low VRAM to begin with, and of course this being fixed would just lead to more people enjoying the game even more, so I'm fully behind it. All that said, this is a very brief summary of what the patch could be. Again, a reminder, it was 13 pages of patch notes. That's what it was at the Campfire Chat. That was what they told us about. It could be absolutely massive, but we won't know a lot of the specifics until those notes are properly released to us. And of course, when they are, I will be going over them in detail on the channel if you want to see the full detail of them or care at all about my opinion on them personally. Until that happens though, we have one more confirmation from Rod Ferguson, the general manager of all things Diablo. Not particularly big compared to all this talk about the patch that we're all excited about, but it's still worth talking about, you know? This is a news roundup after all, and this is news. This player asked about the concept of purchasing secondary or even tertiary battle passes just so you can get the cosmetics again, but for a different class. Rod replies saying very clearly that the Diablo 4 battle pass cosmetics are class agnostic, which means that they essentially work like salvaging armor in the base game. When you salvage an armor piece, you get its cosmetic look in the wardrobe. All other characters that you make will also have that look available in the wardrobe, and while they share the same name on the armor piece no matter which class you are on, they look notably different depending on which class you are playing. I think that's a great way to do it. It makes it quite simple, and honestly it makes the battle pass more actually interesting and more desirable. After all, if a battle pass is full of cosmetics that don't apply to the class that you're playing, then that would be sort of silly. Who would actually want that? And if you could only get cosmetics for one class, then it wouldn't really apply properly to the legions of Diablo players that love playing multiple different classes, right? So it's good that it works this way. It makes sense that it works this way, and now we have full confirmation that it does. That's it for today then, everyone. To sum it all up, the DDoS attack is over and dealt with properly, but there will be server maintenance from 9 AM to 2 PM Pacific time both today and tomorrow, during which there may be some disconnects for players, so just be aware of this, be careful what you're doing. And thanks to a very interesting tweet from Adam Fletcher, Tuesday may very, very well be the day that we receive the big patch that we've both been aware of and are ready for, since it was mentioned in full detail at the Campfire Chat stream. On top of that, we just have a nice confirmation that any cosmetic items in the battle pass will work for every class, so don't have to be concerned about that at all. I hope you've all enjoyed this roundup and breakdown of the Diablo 4 news, and I bet you're all excited as I am for the patch that was presented to us in concept with the tagline, "It's time for the buffs." After all, nerfs can keep a game healthy, but buffs are what make the game engaging and fun for the players themselves. Like if you liked the video, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.